It's your boy Conserviz 34. We're gonna look at Charleston Night 1. A lot of things going on right in front of the soundboard. We're gonna take a look at Dancing Dude, Poster Guy, and some other characters here. Look at this. All right, here we are. We're gonna zoom in. Look at Dancing Dude there with the beer in hand. That is a beer right there in hand. Great footwork in sandals. You can tell that this dude knows what he's doing. He has experience dancing. And right over here, you got a lady there and a fella there. He's not gonna get in their way. And you got a dude right here as well. He's got great field presence to know he doesn't want to knock into any of these guys in the middle of this zone defense. Look at this, moving freely about the zone. And he's gonna really do, look at that. Still got the beer in hand, non-dominant left hand, holding that really well. Look at that footwork. Step back, step forward, step spin, boom. He's cha-chaing right there. Look at those moves. Clockwise, counterclockwise, seamless transition. You gotta love him right there. Now, let's look at this because there's other characters we're gonna look at right now, right? We analyzed this dude right here. Dancing Dude. Now we're gonna look at Poster Guy because you're gonna watch to see there's gonna be some great prevent defense on Poster Guy. Let's go back and roll the tape back. Poster Guy right here chilling. Right now, that poster, Mel Kiper has that poster going after the AP sellout in about a week. He's gonna post that as a waffle on one of the poster groups. But let's look at the attendant right here. Watch her prevent defense. This is the soundboard right here. And she's gonna make sure that he's not blocking the view of the people in the soundboard there. Let's take a look. All right, so he's chilling. He's chilling. He's looking at Dancing Dude. I don't want to get in his way. Look, Dancing Dude. Look at how close. Dancing Dude again. Great presence not to crash into Poster Guy. That would have been a huge issue. Now watch this. All right, bro's getting the beer. Yeah, I gotta get a beer. Now watch this. He steps forward. Whoa. That's a violation. He's gonna be blocking the clear sight lines of the soundboard to make sure they're seeing what's going on stage. Watch her. Boom. She steps out from the prevent defense to go ahead and attack him in the backfield. Watch this. Boom. Hey, you gotta stop. You can't be here. Great prevent defense by this woman. You got to go over there. Slide to the left. 2 hops this time. Ooh, now look at this. Almost a collision there. Almost a collision. They avoid the inevitable. His poster's hanging out. So that collision would have been rough. Could have damaged the poster. Going to ruin his chances of selling that, fresh and nearly mint. Okay? Boom. Event staff. Great positioning. She's on the inside there, making sure he's not going towards the barrier. She's putting her body in between the barrier and him so he does not cross over. Now he's going to be put back in his place. All right, he's chilling over here. All right, now he's found a spot. Yes, I will call this home. Don't drink the water and don't get near the soundboard. Great presence there to make that stop. We're going to go back again because you got some other stuff going on over here as well. Let's zoom this back in. Look at the dancers right here, looking, having the time of life. Hey, I know you. How you doing? Yeah, let's have a party. Let's sing number 41. You gotta love when the hands come up here too. They're singing number 41. Hey, da, 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 da. She's looking over right there like, oh, this is a party right here. Now look at bro. He's lax bro right here, about to buy probably a Michelob Ultra. Yeah, man, I'm a lax bro. All right, now he's coming. Whoop, he's gonna swing around. He's gonna look at, and now they're gonna make contact right here. He's trying to get through. He's going to find his way out. Slides right through the awesome singers right there having a ball. Shout out to the lady over there just waving her hand in the air. Waving. Oh, bro right here. Whoa. Let's look at this. Having the time of his life. Number 41's on. It's lit. It's a Friday night in Low Country, and he's getting it on the floor. Look at this. Yeah, man. Got my head. Look at this. You got to love the passion of these fans right here. And dude right there got the sunglasses with the wraparound. But look at that. Having a ball. This is what D&B concerts are about. Shout out to the band Charleston Night 2 coming up tonight. Where was the stone tonight? I know people were wanting it. As long as they play it for Hartford, it would be the best tour debut of my whole life. When I wake up, I'm willing to hope that they play the Stone. And Harvard is better than all of the tour debuts that have debuted so far. My favorite song, can listen all night long. They need to play it more, it's underrated. And that's more than I can say for When the World Ends. Where is the Stone tonight? I hope they would do it for Lauren and Mark. Maybe you got When the World, 'cause there you were the last good thing about for these crowded streets. DNB post-show stream is gonna start right about now. It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
But Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. South Carolina, what up? Low Country, what up? Shout out to the Midlands. Upstate, I see you. Clemson Tigers, what up? USC Gamecocks, what up? Shout out to my cousins in Columbia. Saluda High School, what up? What up, what up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Man, you sound good just saying check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2.
It's true. Shout out Zach Brown. Shout out to the Zamily. Clay Cook, what up, too, in his band. All right, so still waiting to get waiting for my guests to come on. They're still getting settled, but I did want to start the stream. And if you are watching this, if you're in the chat and we're at the show and want to come on, let me know. And we're going to take a look at this set list. If you haven't seen on Instagram, I made a little reaction video. You saw at the beginning to one of the dudes dancing in the back of that, right in front of the soundboard, back of house. So if you want to check that out, pretty funny. All right, so let's see. Waiting to see if we can get some. Oh yeah, Kumi. Let me respond to him. I want to get Kumi on. All right, we're gonna try to get Kumi DMB, and then we got Michael as well. So give him some time. Give him some time. Let's take a look at this set list. And so for this set, I mean, if you guys aren't picking Bismarck every other show in a set list game, I don't know what you're doing. But it's great to have that back. Now, I do want to talk about the tour debut situation because technically no tour debut. From what I have seen, I was not at any show this year. I believe that this is the first Lion Our Graves reprise. Every other one, people had mentioned, from what I remember, that there was no reprise until tonight. There were no tour debuts, but you can technically count that reprise as something they brought back. We had 5 Walk Around the Moon songs, and we had 4 Before These Crowded Street songs, but no Stone. We need that Stone back. I hope it comes back in Hartford. Hope not Forest Hills. Dave, if you're listening, don't play at Forest Hills. Play at Hartford again. I have caught the tour debut for the Stone for 2 consecutive years. Went to Mansfield in 2021, and it was the tour debut of the Stone there. And then also I got it here for Hartford last year at the Rail, and it played as the tour debut last year. So I'm hoping, hey, first show of the year for me is Hartford again. So maybe we'll get it. So that's pretty cool. My debut show in 21 and 22, it was the tour debut of the Stone. Now, I guess while we're waiting for our guests, we talked about this a little last night. This is not the tour to go to 3 to 4 straight shows. It's not the tour to go to a bunch of shows in a row, maybe 2 max. I think that the strategy, looking at the first half of this Southern run, because they'll come back to the South a little later. I think the trend is last year, I would say go to as many as possible because you had 2-step, you had shotgun, you had some other stuff. This year, typically, you're obviously not for Charleston, but for most times, you got busted stuff almost every other show. For weekend shows between Mexico, the Woodlands, Dallas, and also this weekend. Martin says we need Dreaming Tree in Hartford. I would love to have it, and I think that's the biggest thing is the difference between last year and this year is you had Dreaming Tree, Stone, Break For It, Break Free being a debut. There was a lot of that different stuff, but I mean the trend is like don't come, don't chase waterfalls. If you just are going to shows to have fun and you love what the band plays, that's fine. Go to as many shows as you want. But if you're looking for some of the deep cuts, then that's not it.
Um, what I want to do, we're gonna actually try to bring on both guests at the same time and just get some perspective, do it around the table, and get in and get out of here. So let me just get this set. All right, so we got Kumi D&B that's going to be joining us, and Mike, who came last year as a guest, and he's back here for this year. So let's bring them both on. So how you guys doing?
What up, Marcus? How you doing, man?
What's going on, Marcus?
Hey, so let's start off with Mike because we're gonna go to you first, and then we'll get to Kumi D&B and kind of go around the horn here. But Mike, what did you think of this show?
I absolutely loved it. I was telling some friends that gave me the ticket actually tonight that this was my favorite show that I've been to in recent memory. It was absolutely outstanding.
And what made it that type of show for you personally?
The first half, it was mainly because of what they were doing in the jams. Like Crush was, I think that's my favorite Crush ever. They kept they would start on one part of the jam and then bring it out, switch to a different timing, do something else, and come back around. Like Rashawn was absolutely slaying it. They did the same thing in Typical Situation where at times I couldn't even really figure out what was coming next. And there wasn't really a ton of deep cuts, which normally I might be somewhat critical of that part, but every version of every song was as good as I've heard it in a long time. It was just super tight.
Interesting. So the jams. If you guys are just tuning in, Mike's saying the jams were so top tier that it really made this show elevated as far as his personal favorite shows of all time. Kumi D&B, what do you think as far as this show?
Yeah, I'll agree with Mike. The jams were great. I mean, Typical Situation is a song that doesn't get a lot of plays, but it's great to see, and they jam out on that for sure. And same with Liner Gray's. Liner Gray's jam was awesome. I mean, I didn't expect it that late in the set, but it was amazing. And I kind of agree. I mean, we didn't get any super deep cuts, but I thought it was a great show overall. A lot of energy. Even I was in 300s today, so I was high up, but even today we had a lot of great energy, and the crowd was going wild at a lot of different points of the show.
Awesome, Mike. Where were you sitting?
I was also in the 300s, but that venue, you literally could not go wrong. I can't imagine having a bad view anywhere there, and it's just a wall of sound.
That's awesome to hear. And I want to go all the way to the Encore 1. So you guys are in the 300 level of this intimate venue. What was the crowd reaction to Ocean and the Butterfly? Was there talking? Was it more of a respect for the song compared to last night's E1, which is a quieter song? Let's start off with Kumi D&B.
Yeah, I mean, I was in 309, so my section, I don't think they loved Ocean necessarily. I mean, there was a little bit of talking. Obviously, when the encore break happens, people are talking and getting ready for the encore to start. But obviously, everyone quiets down when Dave gets on the stage or gets loud with cheering, but then quiets down waiting for the song. But I feel like when they heard it was Ocean, it was kind of like going back to their conversations, But also, being in 300s, you're with a lot of people who are just casual fans, and it makes sense that people be having conversations,
Okay, Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I'd say probably similar. I was in 312, I think. But to be honest, I don't think that a lot of the crowd was standing up during any of the Walk Around the Moon songs, or knew the words. To me, it was a kind of a shame because I think Walk Around the Moon's their best album since Big Whiskey. But I was super into Ocean and the Butterfly. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of people left during It Could Happen. It Could Happen was the first time, I saw a bunch of people just leaving, going to get a snack or beer or whatever.
And that was great, too.
Yeah.
So you have a Sweet and then It Could Happen. So you kind of have two slower songs. Did people leave during Sweet, too? Was it kind of a a casual fan buzzkill as well, or?
People around me like Sweet. There are actually some cool people in front of me who I met who had been on a lot of shows. So and the Sweet also the jam, the outro jam for Sweet is so awesome. At least in my opinion. So I think people really, or at least around me, were really excited for Sweet.
Okay, interesting, because that Extreme Makeover DMB edition of Sweet post-pandemic. Initially, it was something that people assumed, oh, this is going to be the same old. And now it's something that people appreciate. We talked about that last night with Mad Men's. People appreciate it more. So it's interesting. Now Sweet has more of a respect, and It Could Happen has to win over fans potentially, or maybe it goes away if fans don't respect it as much. Um, Now, the other thing that I heard, and again, we did kind of talk about the E1 people's reaction, but some people across the venue were saying tonight there were more talkers, there were more people that kind of weren't as engaged in parts of the show, and it took away from their experience. Not that, all right, people don't care about this song, I like it, I'm cool, but like people were saying, and at least 3 or 4 people on Twitter and other social media were saying, hey, some of these fans are distracting. Did you guys feel that? Let's start off with Michael first. Did you feel that fans were talking loudly or disrupting the experience?
I mean, quite the opposite. I mean, half the show I was having trouble seeing because the guy's arms in front of me were flailing constantly.
Okay. Kumi
I didn't get
DMB,
that vibe.
what about you?
I definitely got it. So I mean, the people in front of me were cool and they were paying attention most of the show, but people behind me were like, I was seeing Bismarck for the first time as an opener, and first time ever, and I was really excited for it. And the chick behind me would just not stop talking about her job as an RN. Something was going on with her, and that's fine, But like, I was trying to enjoy Bismarck, and so yeah, I had a lot of talkers around me at least.
That's unfortunate.
It happens,
And Mark, actually, one of those people, Mark Madera, I know his wife was posting on Twitter. He was messaging me on Instagram that they had some people that were, extremely kind of annoying as far as the talking there. And he's saying it was a crash into me type of crowd. Let's start off with Kumi DMB. What was the reaction to Crash Into Me in your area of the venue?
Yeah, everyone erupted around me, but I think even for people like who go to a lot of DMB shows, you don't see Crash very often. So like, it's a song that I can appreciate when I see, because I've only seen it like 5, maybe this is my 6th time seeing it over 39 shows. So
yeah,
it's a pretty rare song. So and obviously everyone knows Crash, and a lot of people are there just to see it, and so it definitely got really loud when they played that.
All right, and Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I've had the opposite experience. I've actually heard Crash like way too many times. But I still was very appreciative because the last 3 years it's been like in hiding. I think he played it like once last tour. So like I was still excited, but I thought it was funny because a lot of people left for All You Wanted Was Tomorrow and didn't make it back to their seats in time for Crash. And then we're bitching about how they didn't get to see Crash. And it's just like, well.
Yeah, and the set list flow was, you have typical situation, don't drink the water. Now, Virginia in the Rain slows down, but they go right from that to Gray Street. So Gray Street ends. All You Ever Wanted Was Tomorrow, which is like a quiet Jimmy thing, in my opinion. It has that like kind of hammer on or pull off type thing that Jimmy thing does. And so it's a quiet song. People all go to the bathroom, and it's a song so short. If you went to the bathroom, if you grabbed a drink, and you're in the 300 level, or even if you're in the mid level, and there's not concessions near your exit or entrance, you probably missed that Crash Into Me first note. So you're running back to your seat. So it makes sense. And I think that's another, if you guys are watching, and I'm going to take notice of that for my shows, if you get a new song, and even if you don't like it, stay at your seat, because the next song could be big. It could be Crash. It could be What Would You Say? It could be the So Much Bridge Too Much. It could be a tour debut of something special, as they transition from a quiet song in between some big songs. So that's definitely something. Now, Lionheart Graves, we'll start with Kumi DMB for this one. They have the reprise. What was that like to get the full Graves for the first time? This is the first full Graves we got in this year in the summer tour.
It was awesome, man. Lionheart Graves was a good song, and the jam was awesome. During that jam where you're supposed to get the reprise after, you're always wondering, like, are we gonna get the reprise or are we not? And it was great to get it. It really just adds so much more energy to the crowd and to the show, I feel like, when you get the reprise.
All right, and Mike, I want to ask you this: Was there any sort of reaction to the reprise from around you where you were sitting?
Yeah, I thought the place exploded. I mean, really, those last three songs, Lion Our Grave, So Right, and Jimmy Thing, I mean, the place was absolutely electric the entire time.
That's awesome. And I think what I see on paper, and I've heard some of the tapes, they're doing a better job of, since Houston. Houston was really the ultimate low point of having too many quiet songs in a row. They seem to be doing a better job of adding in high energy songs around slower songs. Virginia in the Rain, great song, surrounded by Gray Street, Don't Drink the Water. We talked about All You Ever Wanted Was Tomorrow. It Could Happen has a crush after it. So you get people to really get to one of those staple songs. And that's something that I didn't see as much the first American show in Houston. So
Definitely agree.
and I want to get to this poster. So this is a Methane poster here. And first we go to Kumi D&B. Did you see if it sold out at all?
Yeah, this is one that I didn't get there early for because it's not my favorite poster, just personally. But I did go see. I took a break near the end of the show. I went to the bathroom around Jimmy. Sorry, Jimmy. And I wanted to see if they're still available, and they weren't available at all at any of the merch stands. So they did sell it at some point. I just don't know when.
Okay. And Mike, what did you think of this poster?
I didn't love it when I saw it on Dave Posters, I think is where I first saw it. But when Bob J. Twig, which you may know from Instagram, when I was with him and when he grabbed it and I saw it in person, I actually did think it looked decent in person.
Yeah, let's pull up a picture of that. I know Lauren got it. And
I feel like all of these pictures look better in person. Pretty much all of them look better in person, I feel like,
Yeah.
Last night's I thought was definitely a way better poster, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and Methane, I joked Methane got its groove back like Stella. I think Methane struggles because they have so many posters, and there's been two reactions to this poster. Just like Kumi D&B said, hey, I see what it is for what it is, but it's not something I'm gonna go grab. A lot of veteran poster collectors were like that today, saying, hey, Methane's does these same rotations. Yes, you have the palmetto in the top left. You have this like low country vibe with the sun setting in the water there, but I'm not going to buy it. The other side of this was, I think, the casual poster fan, the mainstream D&B fan says, oh, this is a cute poster. So I'm not shocked that it sold out. I think that this had more of a mainstream poster audience, the hardcore poster collectors. Maybe they get this to flip it, but it's not as many of them were sold on this. I will say this type of poster is what I think Methane should do more of. You have the hardcore fans, maybe not as much sold. There's always people that aren't going to like it. Some people I know, John Woodbury, I don't know if he's watching. He just doesn't like Methane. He just, period. They could literally make a picture of Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan could autograph it. He's from Chicago, and he probably would still consider not getting the poster. So I think that's a big thing, is that just make a poster like this. You got your palmetto. Give us something that's local. You can make a sunlight. You can make a moonlight. They could be on top of the car for the 50th time. But just give us something that feels like the local venue. And that's what they did here. They missed the mark, I think, with Rogers, Arkansas, the monster that just looked weird. And I think it was the South Haven one was okay. It wasn't bad. It was okay. But this one is where they need to be. Mike, did you get there to see if there were foils or anything? Like, when did you go to the merch stand? Or?
I was in there pretty much when it opened. I didn't see any foils, but I did think it was interesting that the t-shirt was already sold out, like right at the beginning of night 2.
So let's go to that T-shirt. I'm gonna pull that up. I got a screenshot of it. And what did you guys think? Let's go to Kumi DMB. What did you guys think? What did you think of the T-shirt here?
Yeah, I like the T-shirt. I mean, it's pretty standard for a 2-night show, like a T-shirt like that. Personally, I'm more of a jersey guy just because I sweat a lot, so I don't want to sweat through a shirt. I want to have something dry fit. So personally, I'm not a huge fan of shirts in general. So probably not the best person to ask about that, honestly.
Gotcha. And you got the Carter Beauford. That's the new Carter Beauford jersey for 2023. And yeah, down in the summer months, yeah, these cotton shirts do sweat through. What about you, Mike?
I love it. I love the kind of throwback print on the back, and I like that they changed the front logo because for a while it seemed like it was always like this.
Yeah,
and I just like seeing something different.
Yeah, I think that fire dancer with the wheel was
Yeah,
cool for a little bit, but they were doing it multiple years, and I think this one is better. I also love the Charleston setup. This feels Charleston like, South Carolina like. You just have that palmetto, and you have a pool, and it's it seems like it was less generic. Some of the other ones for Deer Creek and SPAC weren't as good last year, so I'll see what they do produce for those venues as they come. I will say, I think one thing, speaking of taking all your ideas, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a live tracks from, I think, Ohio, and they had a DMB. It's like DMB Ohio, and it had a number 41 on the back. It was a T-shirt for live tracks. I think it was the last one, or David Ryan Harris was a guest in, but it was one for Ohio. And I think if they did a T-shirt for a 2-night stand, and they had it like, so SPAC gets 34, Deer Creek gets 41, Gorge gets 27. I think if they had some sort of like shirt that on the front says, Dave Matthews Band, and on the back it says Deer Creek, and then it has 41. I think that would sell. What do you guys think of that type of idea for merch?
I definitely buy it, especially if it was dry fit. I would definitely buy it.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, so if you guys are listening, management's listening, hey, just get me a meet and greet with the band, and then I'll call it even. Let me sit in on a song. But yeah, I think they need to that anything with those numbers, and I know, like you said, oh no, my mouse fell. Anything with the numbers in the jerseys are great sellers. I mean, people they realized it too. They started mixing them up over the years. They're like, wait, let's get a new one, and now people have 3 or 4 of those. So, but very cool as far as the merch. Let's go to Mike. As far as the new songs, how do you feel so far about some of these new songs live and having them in like 5 or 6 songs a night type vibe?
Yeah, I thought tonight was pretty balanced. I mean, what did we get? 4 from Walk Around the Moon tonight? After Everything, All You Ever Wanted, It Could Happen, and Ocean and Butterfly.
So we got 5.
Oh, I'm missing one then. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So
Free.
Ocean.
Oh,
Yeah,
Break Free. I still think of that as an old school song, though.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Break Free is tricky because it is old school, like kind of like Idea of You last
Yeah.
album. And Can't Stop was changed, and we won't talk about Can't Stop, but yeah, it has that vibe of, yeah, this is Break Free from 06.
It's getting closer.
Yeah,
I still miss my horns. I wish there was a little bit more, but I understand with Buddy, you've got to give him time in there too, so it makes sense. But I was pleased with the new songs. My 2 favorite from the album is All You Ever Wanted Was Tomorrow and After Everything. And I thought it was really cool that they did the Beatles cover into After Everything, because the first time I heard that, all I could think of was like, is this the Beatles if they spent some time in New Orleans? Like, that's what it sounds like to me. So going from the Beatles cover into that, I thought worked perfectly.
yeah, and that's something that started in Nashville on just over a week ago, and the Beatles partial was not on the set list. I got the set list 75% through the show. Someone sent it to me, and it did not have that Beatles cover, but I'm sure they had practiced it and said, "Hey, we're gonna surprise them with it," because it was on point in Nashville, and it seems like since then they've had it down. So, let's go to Kumi D&B. We'll go ask Mike the same question. After going to this run and even some of the other shows you've been to in 2023, Dave and Tim and Full Band, has this impacted how many shows you're going to go to for the remainder of the year, more or less, or the same?
For me, it's going to be the same just because I don't have time to go to do any other shows. I'm kind of booked for the summer and until the fall. I mean, if there's a fall tour, I'm saying when there's a fall tour, I'll definitely try to make some fall tour shows work. You know, I still haven't been to MSG, so I want to do that. But I mean, if I could do more shows, I definitely would. I just don't have the time for it this summer, unfortunately. I am scheduled to do Alpharetta in July and then the Gorge, so that'll be fun.
Okay. Did you get your rental car?
I haven't done it yet. I need to do that. I know that I need to do that, and it's on the list. As soon as I get back home, I'm gonna make some calls and do some research on the internet. You know.
All right. And get the free cancellation ones. You can always switch it. Sometimes the rates go down. There. What factors make you want to like? So after hearing these shows so far, you want to go to more. What factors make you want to go to more shows if you had the free time off?
Yeah. I mean, just the energy, man. The crowd and the band they're still bringing it. You know, that's what I like to see. You know, the energy's still there, and honestly, I like some of the new songs as well. I mean, hearing Madman's and Walk Around the Moon yesterday and Looking for a Vein, those were all awesome. You know, good to see. I'm not the biggest fan of All You Wanted Was Tomorrow, but I'm glad that I got it today, and It Could Happen as well because I got the whole album finally heard live, so that's nice.
There you go. Congrats. And so Mike, same question, just to repeat it. You've experienced Charleston, got a lot of the new album, and a lot of other special things. After this weekend, does this make you want to go to more shows, less shows, or the same for the rest of the year?
Well, I was already cutting back this year, so I didn't really have the option. I'm still planning on going to both the Camden shows, but most of my focus is on saving for Mexico next year if it happens. Okay. And Charlottesville in the fall if that happens.
Okay. All right. And stay tuned here. I will, once we have more details on Dave and Tim in Mexico, as far as what happens with any contract, you'll hear it here. Because it is nothing is locked in for sure. An agreement has to be made or a separation has to be made. So if you're watching, same thing. Stay tuned. And once we hear more, we will definitely go from there. But great, interesting perspective. Any other final thoughts? Let's go to Kumi D&B. Any other final thoughts about this weekend, about the shows?
Well, I wanted to bring something up, but I wanted you to check your DMs first to see if I can talk about it or not.
Okay.
If that's cool.
Oh, you could talk about that. Yeah.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, something really cool happened. So I was in 309, like I said, and it was right around when like All You Want Tomorrow was being played. All you want. Sorry, you know, all you wanted was tomorrow was being played, and you know, I was with my girlfriend and my friend who are here, and we were talking about how we feel about the song, and I looked behind me, and Robert Rabb is sitting right behind me. It was pretty cool to see. And we chat for a little bit because I met him in Mexico, and we chat for a little bit. And I asked him if he remembers me, and we talked about some stuff. And he asked me what songs I like off the album. I tell him, you know, my top 3 are like Madman's Eyes, Walk Around the Moon, and probably Looking for a Vein, if like Break Free doesn't count. You know, I go back to like the show, and he goes back to, I think he was doing something. He had his laptop with him. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing. I told him I didn't want to bother him, you know, but it was nice to see him. I dapped him up and stuff. And a little later, he like tapped me on the shoulder, and he held out his hand like this in a fist, and he dropped a pick in my hand, which was awesome. So I got a pick, which was crazy because I was in the pit yesterday, and I got a pick today when I was in 309, which is cool. And then later, when he left to go do something, he's like, "I'll be back later. I'll see you later." And I was like, "That sounds good, man." And I like tapped his shoulder or whatever. And later he comes back after Ocean is ending, and he hands me a set list, and I was like so ecstatic. I was like, "Dude,
Wow.
Robert Rabb got me a set list. That's awesome." So I've never gotten a set list, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, it was just really cool. I mean, it was really surreal, honestly, because I figured this might happen in the pit, but I had no idea I would be getting anything like this in 309, right? So that was really cool. And Robert, if you're listening, you're the man. Thank you for that. Yeah, I just wanted to add that was what made this show like one of my favorites. A memory like this is like, the band really cares about their fans. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and the reason I say you can share that is because that's something that Rab will do. And one of the things he looks for is if you're excessively bothering him, being disrespectful, he can see it, right? He can see it from a mile away. And typically he'll tell you, nah, right? But what he loves to do is just spread the picks and spread the set list. And again, it could literally it could happen. Like you had it. There may be a show he doesn't get there. And during the pandemic, I remember 2021, I was by the soundboard, and some people, he really stayed there. He stayed at the soundboard because of that. But he tries everything he can to just talk to fans, get reaction. He loves interacting with the fans, and that can happen. But what I'll say to people at home, please show respect. Please don't. He knows you're there. Okay. He knows you're there. You can say, hey, what's up? Give him a nod, but let him do his work. If he sees things, he'll give it. Sometimes it's random. Sometimes, like for you, he saw you at Mexico, and then he's like, okay, I know that face. So it's okay to share that. And I think it's a great thing that the band does to allow Rab, and even Joe Lawler was with he's connected with the Corner of Gray Street folks, was on their pod some time ago, and he actually met up with them for like before the show. He actually met up and took a picture with them outside of the venue, so he contacted them. So the people around this band are great. The people around them are very positive, and you may not like certain people. Maybe you have a bad experience with them or having a bad day, but overall, the people around this band, the tech personalities and people that you may see, from Fenton to Rab to Joe Lawler, they're great people. So very cool, and congratulations on that. It is definitely a special thing when you get a set list, when you get a pick, you get something tied to the band, and in your case, you're up that high. Mike, anything else? Anything you want to share? Any final thoughts?
I certainly can't top that. Rob is the man. I had a great time tonight.
Yeah, and I will say, I don't know if you guys just nod your head or shake your head, but vocally, is Dave still got it? I know last week people said he had it. The week before they said he had. Vocally, was he okay? Yep. So that's one of the other things I've been hearing is vocally, people who have gone to these same stops a week in, 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in are saying, hey, last year, he felt a little bit more rougher, felt a little bit, like night 2, he was done with his voice just naturally. Listen, it's hard. But what I'm hearing is Friday nights, Saturday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesdays, that his voice is still on point. And that goes back to Rab and some of the preparation he's doing. Same thing with Carter. Carter has switched up his recovery process. And Matt Norlander talked about that. He shared some things. That article will unfortunately never come out from Guilford 21. He interviewed them, and then they had to push the album back, so it didn't come out. But he talked about Carter. Carter was doing some different things. So the band is doing everything it can to give us the best show, the tightest show. Whether you have songs you like, whether you have songs you don't like, from what you guys are saying, what other fans have said, this band sounds great. You hear a song, it sounds great, it sounds better. But I want to thank you guys for both coming on, and safe travels back home, wherever that may be for you guys.
Thanks a lot, Marcus.
Thanks, Marcus.
All right. Peace.
Later.
All right. So I want to thank both of them for coming on. Great to have both the guests on at the same time, get those perspectives. And yeah, I cannot stress enough. Just you'll have just please respect the people around this band. Please respect them. Again, I've seen great stuff. I've seen like just bad stuff. Please respect them. They work hard. Anyone who's around this band and that you know or can see a recognizable face, they play a critical part in making sure this band can do 40 plus shows a year. So just please show that respect. If they decline, if they say no, walk away. It is what it is. They got a lot going on. Sometimes Rob has more time to converse with people. Sometimes he doesn't, right? If you see them out in the streets, same thing, Buddy, Dave, whoever, try to show that respect to them. If they need to keep moving, they say, hey, no, thank you. Just please walk away. Let it go. You were able to be within 5 feet of this person, that, and be able to acknowledge that, and that's special. That's rare in its own. Yeah. How is Rad busy? He's checking the sound. Right? He's checking the sound. He's doing different things. He's got to, he's moving around, checking the vocals and things across the venue. He's with the soundboard folks. So, what was I gonna say? My thing with the biggest thing, I'll pull the tweet up, but I think with me, and listen, I haven't been to a show yet. I'm fine with the shows I'm going to. This was a year I planned to cut back anyway. I don't see myself going to the Gorge more for just the reason of, hey, if I live closer, I'd probably go, but this year, all right, it's album year. Let me get the album. Let me enjoy some of the stuff from SPAC, Guilford, and Hartford, Mansfield. That's it. I'll go to the Gorge for a 9-album year. Not a bad thing. Just that's me. What did I say? Here's some things that I think are great about this current. This is my personal opinion. You can like Sledgehammer. I'm not gonna block you if you like Sledgehammer. But here's my top three things I noticed, right? Sledgehammer stays locked up. I'm a huge Peter Gabriel fan. Live in Athens is one of my favorite live albums ever. And one of the coolest things I love about Peter Gabriel, he wrote a song about Stephen Biko in South Africa who was killed. He was an activist in South Africa and was killed simply because he was an activist. And Peter Gabriel did, and that's where Dave gets his inspiration for Hani Hani and other things. He grew up listening to Peter Gabriel and the Beatles, and they spoke out and were trying to spread love and pay tribute to those who were fighting for freedom. So anyway, I love Peter Gabriel. Sledgehammer needs to be locked up. The other thing, Come Tomorrow songs outside of Virginia in the Rain are highly unlikely. I don't mind Come On, Come On. Virginia in the Rain is one that I would love to see full band back in Hartford or Mansfield, but Can't Stop. Okay. But let's go through some of these songs that to me are just, I don't need any more of them. Okay. Can't Stop. We have Come Tomorrow, the title track.
Bruh.
That Girl Is You. She. Samurai Cop. Do You Remember?
Bruh.
And I understand Do You Remember means something special to Dave, but it's like the song sounds great. It's just it's just not. It doesn't connect with me. Like these newer album songs connect with me because I was in the pandemic. Do You Remember it's a nice little sweet song, but I don't want to hear it. It's a waste of a spot because there's so many things that this band can play. And I Watchtowers sparingly. It seems like I always run into Watchtower though. But listen, you play it with Zach Brown, that's an exception. Mid-set Watchtower, I'm fine with. But those Come Tomorrow songs, and then the band is tight and more aware of not overpowering Dave's guitar. The Sirius XM streams I've heard. Now Rashawn has, had that trumpet, he had it a little high sometimes. For the most part, he's allowing Dave to breathe. And Tim has been amazing as far as his guitar licks now, his sound, his balance. And maybe that's more the sound crew that stepped that up, because really a lot of that is the sound crew turning Dave up, turning Tim down. But Tim is doing a great job. And some of that comes from the fact you don't have Boyd Tinsley in this band. Tim had to play over Boyd, guys. And listen, I wish Boyd the best. I hope he's doing well. But when that carpal tunnel got to him, when some of the other struggles got to him, Tim had to play over some of the stuff. And most artists, if they played with this band for 20, 25 years, they would have some sort of fatigue and exhaustion. And any violin player, if they did this for 25 years with DMB, would have fatigue and exhaustion. But Tim had to play over Boyd without a question. Some of the stuff was hit or miss, but it's a tough instrument, and it's a tough, skill set to be in hot, humid climates like a South Carolina, like a West Palm Beach, Florida, with a violin. They're straining for as quickly as you got to get that violin, that the little bow flying across, right? So Tim had to play over Boyd. Yeah, they were too loud, right? So, and then the band is just they're in a great spot as far as how tight they sound, Dave's voice. These are three positives to me. And like I said, I'll soak in the two shows in June. I wish Hartford and Mansfield were the same weekend. I'm not going to Forest Hills because I would have to take a lot of public transit. There's not really parking there, and by the time I get back to Connecticut, and then the next day I'll be kind of tired for Hartford. Mansfield's easy. When they had Hartford and Mansfield, I would just drive that 90 minutes from the lots in Mansfield back home. But it'd be about 2 hours and change to drive, and then where do I park? And then the way down is probably 2.5, 3 hours a Friday night, and to get to Queens. It could be 3.5 hours, depending on how bad traffic is. So I'm not going to that. Next stream will be Wednesday. Wednesday, we have the Dave Solo show. And I'll be on After Sirius XM. If you're going to that show and want to come on, let me know. Most likely, I will just do a quick review, just for the sake of time. It is tough, and I thank my guests, because that's the biggest thing is when the show ends, I want to get on 20, 30 minutes later, but the guests getting out of the parking lot, and they have to get home safe or get to the hotel safe. So, it is what it is. Hines says, why not throwing us something to tell my baby tonight? That would have completed the album tonight for two. No. Also, Ocean and the Butterfly, like something to tell my baby and Windows don't translate well for these shows. You could play them in Mexico. You can play like Dave and Tim Mexico, Phobia in Mexico. Those songs, what we've heard from the fans, go back to the interviews. People are talking over those songs, right? They're talking over these songs, and they have their own, great messages in their own right. Both of them. I think Windows is a little better. I think live they just don't translate because you have talkers, you have people that are distracting. And yeah, I don't think you'll get it out. And you don't need to play the full album in a 2-night stand, right? Just, they did a good job. They spread it out across 2 nights. And even like, I wonder what's going to happen with Hartford if Windows or Something to Tell My Baby's even played. I would prefer Ocean and the Butterfly as the E1. Right, I'd rather have that as the E1 than either of those two. And I've heard Windows, Something to Tell My Baby. I don't have if I don't hear that song ever, it's live. It's not the end of the world to me. It's not when the world ends. There. So, but yeah. So also keep in mind, just to give you a little update as well with programming. I'll be at Hartford. I'll be at Mansfield. Someone messaged me. I got to check it about Darien Lake and Bangor, Maine. If anyone's going to Bangor, Maine, wants to come on, we'd love to have you on. It'll be on Sirius XM, but I would love to have someone from that show come on as well. Hartford will probably be about 30, 45 minutes after the show, because I got to get back to the crib. And then Mansfield will probably be, no, it will be late. Mansfield will be extremely late, just because that's a 90-minute drive for me. So because it's a 90-minute drive, I'm going to be sharing my opinions about Mansfield, since I was there. So yeah, that'll be a later show, but you can watch it the next morning. Everything here you can watch again the next morning. YouTube Concert Viz 34. So definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram or Twitter. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching the DMB post-show stream. Let's see. We'll. Oh, by the way, and actually, let's take a look. There's the Wilmington shows are on YouTube. There was someone who put these up, and it was awesome. Are they the best video? No, but that's not the point. You can hear the full thing on YouTube, and you can at least see the band. And if you want, I highly encourage people to take videos of different stuff. Dave Matthews Band, Wilmington, 2023. Yep. So these are Jordan Norris. He's got both of them. And I was listening a little bit earlier to it. So we're going to close out with something from this. Let's see if there's a... Actually, let's go to night one. Oh, Fatima, you heard the whole album between Woodlands and Dallas. Yeah, because they did what, 6 and 6 or something? Or... Oh my God. One of the sad things is someone has a comment on here. Imagine spending money to go to a concert just to talk the entire time. Let's see if we can sort. I think someone had the. Oh, here we go. Someone had the different ones. We'll do Looking for a Vein from this, and then call it a show. Thank you guys for watching. It's your boy ConcertBiz 34. Have a wonderful night. Peace.
Down the slow again, trying to find a day or something. I'm in these walls of open, hoping to find a way. What if I strike again, which is a warning? Will it set me free, or be just another holding? Yeah. What am I supposed to do? I'm on these walls, trying to find a way. strike again to the wanna be. Will it set me free or be just another holding? What will it be? Who will it be? Who will it be? What does it matter? Well, I can't give up on this. Always trying to break on through. This air is choking.